I don't know how I'm going to be able to explain some of this. Weird synchronicities and strange occurrences that... Now, believe me, my initial thinking on these things is always, oh, it's crazy, or at least it always used to be that, oh, I'm just imagining things. But then there would, when I would think I was imagining things, I would always end up having something or I would think, oh, I'm imagining things, or I'm hallucinating or something. You know, that would be my first thought, my first go-to, oh, I must be tripping, you know. But then something would happen that would absolutely confirm and prove that I wasn't fucking imagining things, that it was genuinely happening, you know. I would get something on film or okay. Well, like, for instance, you know, I'd get a song stuck in my head back in the day, and I had this sense that I was hearing somebody else's thoughts. And then I'd have the thought, no, that's crazy, right? And then somebody would walk past and they'd be singing or humming the song that I was just hearing inside my head, or they'd turn on their stereo and they'd start playing the song that I just heard in my head because somebody else nearby had that song stuck in their head, so they decided, hey, I'm going to play it on my stereo, you know? Or they'd walk past and I'd hear them whistling or singing the same tune to the song that I just was hearing in my head. I remember one time I was at my dad's, it was this song that's so annoying because they played it over and over and over and over, and it's just like, you know, perpetuating a bullshit, you know, false narrative. What the hell's that song? Remember when? No, is that... I don't know, it's like a country song about the promoting the official story of 9/11 and shit. I fucking hate that. And they'd play it all the time, over and over and over. This is years ago. But I'm suddenly getting that song stuck in my head. I'm like, oh God, get out of my head, get out of my head. And the freaking neighbor just starts blaring that song on the radio, like, you know, it would happen all the time when I was at my mom's house, you know, her husband John, he'd get these songs stuck in his head. Like around Christmas time especially, it'd be all these fucking Christmas songs. You know, jingle bells, you know, all this crap stuck in my head. And then, you know, I'd walk out the living room, go out to the kitchen, and he'd walk past, he'd be freaking, you know, whistling it, or, you know, you'd see him singing it kind of, you know, he wouldn't be singing loud, he'd just be kind of mumbling it as he walks past or something, you know. But, like, you know, shit like that. As an example, right? As an example of a confirmation that, no, I'm not, in fact, imagining shit. Or I'd have some psychic feeling that, like, oh, shit, this is going to happen or something. And then exactly what I thought was going to happen ended up happening, you know? It was just, you know... I'd know things, or I'd have these extreme deja vu sort of instances a lot of times, but that's a whole other story, you see, because that's not, I wouldn't say it's a confirmation of anything. I guess that's a different category. But, well, like, you know, if you... Alright, I gotta dig out one of my old laptops. I think I still have some pictures on there that I took of these things that were in my room and in the old house that we used to live in. I would take pictures of them sometimes. Now I could have taken so many more pictures, but I was like, I wasn't obsessed with trying to take pictures, you know? But sometimes I would snap pictures when I felt that I had some sort of entities in the room or something, you know? Because at first it was like by accident, you know? Because I used to take pictures of my vape clouds, because it's like the whole cloud chucking thing, you know? To see how far I could blow a vape cloud, you know? Or I'd just be taking a picture of something in my room, you know? or taking a selfie or something, and some shit would show up behind me in the vape cloud, you know. So then and also from seeing other people's photos, and then like one of the first times I took a picture of some sort of entity, or whether you want to call it demon or a ghost or whatever the hell they are, right? The first time I got a picture of one of these myself that I noticed, I was up at these waterfalls with this girl, and there was a little bit of fog or something, and this face showed up in the fog. That was one of the first times, and then I started noticing more and more that, you know, that would happen when there was vapor or fog or smoke, you know, especially with fog or vapor. But it has to be just the right amount. So if you want to see like your surroundings, if you feel like you've got, especially if you vape with like a box mod where you get the big clouds, you know, that's what is good. Then you take, what you do is, if you can sense where they are, approximately, or that they're there, you take out your phone, right, and you just blow some vape clouds around, and then you snap a whole bunch of photos, like as many as you can snap, as quickly as you can snap them, and then you have to go through them, because if the vape's too thick, you can't see through the thick cloud, you know. But if it's too thin, then you're not going to show up very well either. So it's kind of like an in-between. So you have to kind of wait until the vapor, and then you can see the faces there, you know. And you can photograph them. And I have a number of photographs of these things on my old laptop, because I've been living in a motel, so but like, yeah, so yeah, again, that's an example of confirmation, you know. I mean, just like if you say, oh, I saw a UFO, and you have pictures, or somebody else has pictures of the same thing that you saw, that they took at the same time, or somebody else, or you have other witnesses, you know, corroborating witnesses that saw or experienced the same thing that you did, that's evidence that shows that what you experienced was real and not a delusion or hallucination or your imagination or misremember, whatever, right? So when you have this corroboration and you have this evidence to back up what you experienced as so many times over and over, you know, it's like you just get to where it's like, okay, I'm just going to accept that this shit is real. As much as I want to say, okay, this is fucking crazy, there's no goddamn way that this could be real. It's like, I wish to hell that I need to get like a fucking phone or camera or something that's quick, you know. I need to be able to whip it out like real fast and have it recording immediately, because shit will happen in such a short span of time. And also, a lot of the time, it's like distracting. I mean, you know, a lot of the time, it's like you're just so taken in by what you're seeing and what you're hearing, what you're experiencing, that you're just going, whoa, you know. And thought to pull out a phone doesn't even cross your mind, because you're just kind of like in shock, kind of, or just in awe or whatever, you know, at what the fuck you're saying. But a lot of times when I do think to pull out a phone, it's like I'm digging around the pockets or whatever. Gotta pull this big fucking brick out of there, and I try to push the buttons, and I gotta unlock it with the unlock code, and I gotta try to get the camera app open, and it takes forever to even open, and then you gotta fucking go from photo and slide it over to video, and then you gotta hit fucking record. By the time you do that, like 10 fucking seconds or more have passed, and whatever you were experiencing may be over with already, or, you know, 10 or more seconds, you know. Whatever you were experiencing might be gone by then, you know. It's like how many times I've seen like a squirrel or chipmunk or something walking around. I try to pull out my phone, and by the time I pull out my phone, the thing is fucking gone back behind a tree or ran into a bush or something, you know. Because first you have to think, oh, I should pull out the phone. And then you have to get it out of the pocket. And you have to unlock it and fucking get the camera app up, switch from photo to video, start recording, which is there's a delay before it even starts to begin with. And then you have to like try to aim the damn thing. And if something is moving around, then you gotta try to follow it with the fucking, And the damn thing's this giant brick, so it's like a pain in the ass. Anyways, yeah. So okay, things I experienced, and I know I can't be the only one. I've heard other people mention these sorts of things, but it's like rare to hear people talk about it. I've heard, especially in the early days when people started talking about the Mandela effect, you hear more of this kind of thing. I think that's the sort of thing we need to be. I mean, as Mandela affected people or whatever. That's the sort of thing we should be focused on. Like, fuck Berenstein Bears and the fucking Fruit Loops and all this other shit like that. There's something like bigger, And in a lot of ways, it seems to be like able to affect us directly, like individually. Not just on some grand scale, but like on a grand scale, individualized around us, man. Like Brian, right? Biggest Mandela Effect YouTube channel there is, right? The name of his fucking hometown changes. And then the whole, what was it, the stovetop stuffing or whatever, made in a factory in the town that he lived in or some shit, right? And then apparently, what didn't he say? Like the fucking guy from Publisher Ed McMahon or something lived there or some shit too, right? That's what I'm talking about. That in that way, like that shit all was surrounding where he's at, And I have like like that, but it's like I don't hear people talk about like how like a tree will change, a building change. People don't talk about this new fucking factory that never was there just popped up on the fucking road I've gone down every day, and it looks like it's been there for like fucking 30 or 40 years, or you don't hear people talking about how the signs and the paintings change, or how like so you pull into a parking lot of your local Walmart or something one day and it looks like it's all been the whole parking lot's been redone and everything looks like it's brand new paint and brand new resurfacing and everything, and then you go there like a couple weeks or a month later and it looks like it's just an old worn out parking lot that's been there for 30 years or whatever, that's all dirty and fucking moss growing on shit and stuff, and the fucking parking spaces are aligned differently. Like one day they're straight on, and then the next time you go there, they're all like fucking angled, shit like that, or just the whole layout is different. Things like that, right? Or you're like, be a tree, like there's this one channel that's mentioned a couple of things like this sort of shit that I'm talking about. Was it like something world, one world, or god damn it, world something, I don't know. She talks about Mandela effect, and she told some story about how she went on these walks, and place where she'd go on these walks all the time. There's this orange tree in one of the yards, and she would walk past and pick an orange or whatever, right? And then she talked about how she walked past there one day and the orange tree wasn't there. It looked like it was never there. And then some other day when she went for her walk, it was back, And she talked about this other time where they were like walking some trail at some park they went to, and the way that they went in, the whole path that they took to get up there had disappeared, and they had to go around a different way to get out of there. Yeah. Yeah, dude, there's this park not far from here where I grew up. Okay, I didn't grow up. Hold on. From the time that I was 16 until like last year, I lived in this town like a few, like, I don't know, half dozen blocks away from this park, right? I would go to this park all the fucking time. At least in the summertime, I would. I would go there pretty frequently and go hang out there and walk around, hike around the trails and everything. I went to this park before they even like renovated and changed everything. They did change the trails, okay? I'll give you that. I know they did, but there's something about it that they could not possibly have changed that changed, okay? And that's the direction of the flow of the river, okay? This park somehow doubled in size, which would be impossible the way that it happened, because it got longer, basically. Like the whole park is a park and a campground, right? There's like, now the campground that I remember was just like the first part. You go through the first part of the park, and then there's like a turn off to the left, and it goes down to like a little boat ramp, and then if you go further down the road, it leads to the camp area. And what that used to just be was you go there and it would kind of loop around where the campsites were, and then there was like a trail. If you went all the way to like the center of that, you could take this trail back that met up with the little trail in the center, and then there was a fence, right? I would go beyond the fence sometime, and have to go all the way to the edge where the river was and go around that fence and then walk past where like there used to be trails, but before they had the fence there. And I'd go, and I'd get to this spot where the geese would hang out, man. And these geese, like, must be thousands of these geese were hanging out in this spot beyond that fence, So I would go there and hang out and sit out there and just be surrounded by geese all over the place, They walk right up to you and stuff. And anyways, so this trail that I'm talking about used to loop around, like started like about the entrance of the whole park, and went all the way around the campground. And that trail I was talking about that's up against the fence, it went all the way up to the fence line, and then you could follow the fence line all the way to the river, and then there was another trail from there that went all the way, or most of the way, not all the way. The other side didn't go all the way. That the other side trail is like pretty similar to what it used to be, basically, actually. But the difference here is that, see, the river kind of went straight and then it curved around to the right. So a little ways beyond this fence line, the river like took a hard right, and you could only go so far before you got to the river. But now the campground is like, I'd say more than twice as big, may even be almost like 3 times as big. But if you went that much further beyond the area where that campground loop was, in the reality I come from, you would have come to the river, the edge of the river, But you don't. You just keep going, and there's more land and more land and more land, forest, and you got more campground there. That would be fucking impossible. Like, and that's not the only thing, like I said, even just on the drive earlier today, I mean, just to drive just from like, I'm in like town here, to drive like just less than, I don't know, it's probably 7-8 miles or something to the place where I lived at for the last 20 something years, to that town. Just driving from there to there on the road that I took to town all the time, all those years, I can look left, right, either side of the road, and I'll see different houses, different, like, changes to properties, like, that I've been past many, probably tens of thousands of times, man. You know? Many things have changed. And then you get into town and many other things have changed, little things. There's big things, there's little things. There's houses have changed, people's fences are different, but not different like, oh, I put in a new fence, different, but like, oh, there's this completely different fence that looks like it's been there for fucking 30 years. Kind of different, It doesn't, or, oh, this house that's been there for the last 20 years, now it's brand new, or now it's just being built now, but it appears to be the same house that you remember having been there for 20 years, Oh. Or, oh, this huge tree that was there, and now there's this little tree that looks suspiciously to be shaped the same as the big huge tree that used to be there. Weird shit, man. And then there's other like weird shit, like I had an experience, like I said, where I walked outside, I got woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning by a bunch of birds singing, it sounded like, but it sounded like birds, like jungle birds or something, like different kind of birds than the ones I was used to hearing, And I go out there, it's fucking daylight, 3 o'clock in the morning, bunch of birds singing, except for one thing. I looked all over the place, I didn't see any birds anywhere. And, it was really eerily still, like not a single bit of wind whatsoever. Not one blade of grass or leaf moved in the slightest. I didn't see a bird anywhere. I mean, that's fucking weird, man. I've seen shit like the moon fucking go, like I said, up and to the left, and then back down and to the right, and then reverse course back up and to the left. As I sat out there and watched it for a while from the back porch, I would look up at the moon and just, I wasn't staring at the moon the whole frickin' time, but I certainly remembered where it was, and then I look back up and I'm going, what the fuck, that's not the direction it should have went in. And then it goes back to where it was. Or like having a tree that fell down and got cut up by chainsaws, I watched the damn logs go by, and the fucking tree that fell down is suddenly right back where it was, like nothing ever happened, Or driving past this fucking road where there's been blueberry field on both sides of the road all these years. You go past on the one side of the road, off to the right of the blueberry field. You go just a little bit further, there's a house driveway. They got a sign that says blueberries. And a little ways further, there's another house on the corner before you take a sharp turn off to the left, because it goes around a corner. At least it did. Now it's fucking different. The houses aren't there. The landscape is different. There's fucking blueberries are only on the left side of the road, and the right side's got like hay or whatever growing in, but there's no house there. I've seen vehicles drive past that sounded like other vehicles. I've had other times where I can hear like cars going by on the street, and I'll look out the window at the street and there's like no cars on the street, but you can hear traffic going even though there's no fucking traffic there. That's more rare, but it has happened. Or you look out and there is traffic going, but you can't hear it. Or you look out and there's no traffic 1 minute, and I'm thinking, oh, I think I'll go to the store. And I look out of the road, there's like fucking no traffic. It looks clear both ways, and I fucking pull out to the road, and all of a sudden there's a traffic jam. You know? I've had other shit happen, like you get to somewhere and the fucking streetlights don't work right, and the crosswalks don't work right, or they work differently. You know, people walking when it's a fucking like green light. They got a fucking walk light while it's a green light. Like, what the fuck is this? You know, it's like a green light for me to go, and there's people like walking down across on the crosswalk, and the thing says walk. Like, what the fuck? That started happening, right? It's just all kinds of weird shit, right? Just so much fucking weird shit, man. You know, about a year ago when I first got out of the house that I was in for all those years, I went to the coast and I stayed there for about a week. I drove to the beach a few times, and you know, it'd be all sunny, right? Nice blue skies, sunny day, right? And I'd show up at the beach, and as soon as I get there, there'd be like a huge fucking sandstorm almost blotting out the sun. Like, I even have footage of the sandstorm on some camera or something. Yeah. I mean, I was on this beach, and like it was thick sand. Like, I felt like I should wear sunglasses to try to keep the sand out of my eyes. I had a hood up because there's just so much sand blowing around. I would have had my hair filled with sand and everything. And lots of wind and everything. And like so much sand that I'd look out and like you couldn't even hardly see the ocean at all because the sandstorm was just so thick. I'd never seen a fucking sandstorm at the coast in my entire fucking life until last year when I went to the coast. And when I got there, every time I tried to go to the beach, there'd be some massive sandstorm and I couldn't even hardly see the ocean most of the time. But the weird thing is, like, as I'm approaching, it's like I can see the ocean. It looks sunny and stuff. But then when I get there to the beach, it's a huge sandstorm that's like blotting out the view of the ocean. And then when I go to leave, I start driving away, right? And I'm driving away and I'm seeing the sandstorm in my rear view, and then I get a little ways further and the sandstorm is gone, and I just see blue skies and sunshine in my rear view. Like the sandstorm just disappeared as soon as I got away from the beach. Like, what are they trying to cover up here in this fucking simulation? Do they not have the fucking bandwidth or the RAM to simulate the ocean experience or what? Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, man. And then, like, the people, you know, like I talked about how, like, I injured my foot and ankle and stuff and developed more of a pronounced limp. And then I start looking around, like, if I open the window, like, motel room, and I look outside, right, or I go walk around outside or something, you know, kind of limp around, basically. Wherever I go, like, I see more and more people. Almost everywhere I go, a lot more people around suddenly that are limping the same foot that I'm limping, you know, even, you know, more pronounced than me, like exaggerated limping, you know. And it's like a bunch of people. It's like a huge percentage of the people are walking around with a fucking limp all of a sudden. Just starting, you know, as soon as I injured my foot and my ankle and stuff, suddenly, like, damn near everybody's limping around. You know, another thing that happens is, like, I'll get, like, say I'll get drunk as shit or something, right? and I'll get like a real bad hangover and feel like sick as hell. And all of a sudden I'm noticing that like a bunch of other people are around are like sick. Like I'm not the only one. There's other people around that are just like, I can hear like people in neighboring rooms like puking their guts out and fucking, oh God, you know. It's like, it's like the fucking shit that I go through just like emanates out, and fucking people in my surroundings are affected by it or something. It's fucking weird, man. But, or maybe like sometimes you ever wonder, I mean, if you are Mandela affected, I imagine, and do you ever wonder like about the whole NPC thing, or like manifestation of reality? Are we creating our environment somehow? Is our environment being like attuned to us in some sort of a way? Because it seems like it can affect it, but it's almost like it's like an unconscious sort of way. It's like it's being programmed to emulate what's going on with us in some sort of way, in a sense. But mainly just like fuck with our heads, it seems like, you know. It doesn't seem like it's constructive or helpful, really. It's more of a mind fuck kind of thing, you know. Talking about like strange shit, you know, that, I mean, if I was, like when I was younger, man, if I had heard me talking about, if I had heard, like, listened to the video of me talking about this sort of shit, I would have just instantly been like, dude, that guy's fucking nuts. You know? Oh yeah, I know, I would have just fucking said, bullshit. Right? I would have just shut it off like, fucking bullshit, you know? Guy's fucking that bat shit, dude. That guy's fucking crazy. You put him in a goddamn loony bin, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? You know? Or like if I had these thoughts or experience, I would have just said no, you know? Like, no, because I have had like weird experiences my whole life, but I used to just be like, nope, not happening. You know? I just, you know, turn away, pretend like it's not happening, you know? You ever see that movie, A Beautiful Mind? I haven't watched that in years, but I remember, like, he was seeing people that I guess allegedly weren't there or whatever, right? And in order to get along in the normal world, he had to just kind of ignore them and believe that they weren't there or whatever, so he could get through his day. Well, it's like, okay, is that healthy? But what if they were really there? Does it matter? You know? What if you could quantifiably basically prove to yourself that they were indeed genuinely really there? Would that matter to you? You know? How would you feel about the whole experience in that case, you know? Hold on. Let's see what we have here. Nope. Not about this one. No, that's frozen. These maybe. All right then. So, anyways, yeah, crazy shit happening. Pretty much on a regular basis. It's one of the reasons why I genuinely like to avoid setting foot outside of my cave. I'm gonna develop some sort of a cave for myself so that I can hide in my cave and not have to go out of the cave. Because the world outside is crazy. Unless you could look at it like Plato's allegory or something. The world outside, you know. It's like I see the world outside the cave every time I step out of my cave. And it's fucking crazy, man! And the rest of the people are just chained up in the cave looking at the shadows on the wall, and you try to tell them what's outside, and they're like, you just sounds like you're on, you know, like fucking Charlie Brown's teacher or something. Wah, 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 you know. This guy's crazy. What's wrong with him? Oh, God. Have you told him how real the shadows are? Like, oh my God. No, man, shit out there outside the cave is fucking batshit, and it's crazy. It's a scary world out there, man. But you know what's even scarier is realizing that it's not as simple as the allegory of the cave, because that surmises a sort of a twofold scenario whereby there's a light that reflects shadows off of the physical matter, and that the people living inside the cave only experience the shadows as reality, and that when he sets foot outside the cave, that is actually reality. But what I seem to be observing is that there is something beyond that I set foot outside of the cave, and I feel it like, well, you know how like in the Matrix, right? What was it, like Matrix? Wait a minute. Wait, no, I don't think they actually revealed that in the movie itself, necessarily in the movies themselves. But people have discussed how like Zion and the whole physical world outside of the cave, or I'm sorry, I'm going back to the whole Plato allegory here. But you know, outside of the Matrix, allegedly, that's actually still part of the Matrix. You know how like Neo is able to use his abilities to blow up the machines and stuff like that, and he can see with the code still with like his eyes, when he loses his eyes and he can still see and all that kind of shit, right? Well, that wouldn't be possible if he wasn't still inside the Matrix, you know? So even the Zion and the war with the machines outside, what he thinks is outside the Matrix, he's still in the Matrix. He's just reached another level of the Matrix. So that's what I think it is, kind of like the whole allegory of the cave thing, and then the way I experience the world when I go outside of my little cave or whatever, is that I'm seeing basically another layer beyond what other people notice, but it's still illusory. It still isn't the truth. It's something that's just like a distraction or something. Like it's directly screwing with my life, directly and indirectly screwing with my life and screwing with my head and shit, screwing with my emotions and my relationships and my future that I would like to be able to make or whatever. Try to improve my situation, it'll screw with that, but it's like none of it's real though. It's still an illusion. The shadows on the wall are an illusion. I walked up to the room through the window and the sun is behind me. I see my shadow appear on the wall. That's not real, but neither is the reflection in the mirror, or the people that I see walking around outside, or the cars driving down the fucking street, or the birds in the sky, or the fucking bed frame that I just knocked on, or this table, none of it is real. And that's what I see, you know. That's what I'm getting the sense of, is that this shit is like some sort of persistent illusion that we can't shake, you know? I'm not sure of what percentage of people are actually truly conscious beings, or are, maybe I should say rather, whether or not, which ones are involved in or being used by whatever system it is that runs this thing in order to affect me in such a way, like directly or indirectly, to kind of mess with my head, or, you know, how much do these people know, or do these things, these, you want to call them NPCs, unconscious people, you know, I've had experiences with some of these people that I thought were completely unconscious and blind and brainwashed and just like total zombies, where the mask slips off a little bit and they will reveal little bits that show me that they know a lot more than they're telling me. You know, like my mom, man, she would sit in front of the TV and just zone out and try to talk to her about the things going on in the world. She'd just be like, "You're just watching my TV," and let her, you know, she seemed like, dude, I love my mom, but she seemed like she acted like a total. I don't want to say this. I hate to say this. I'm just trying to make an example. I don't want to fucking say this about my mom, but I don't know what else, like what else to say here. Like, what other examples do I have? You know, I spent more time talking to her, and she would be like a prime example of someone who seemed completely unconscious and completely unaware of shit going on in the world. That there's like no way to get through to her, right? But sometimes, rare occasions, I would say something to her or whatever, and she would respond, and the things that she would say they'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like, she knows a hell of a lot more than she pretends to. And maybe this whole fucking zombie thing is just a fucking act that she's putting on, you know? I don't know. I said something. Okay, I'll try to remember what I said one day. I was talking about, let me see. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was something to do with how we were. I was telling her something about how we are, like, basically under like the law of the sea, and I was kind of explaining law of the sea and how like we're ran basically by pirates, kind of like the East India Trading Company or something, and that the District of Columbia was actually ran out of what was it, like Nassau or some shit, or no, I'm trying to remember where it was. It's not the United States. Like, the District of Columbia is not not controlled by the United States. I forget what island it is, but it's like straight up like pirate stronghold that runs the District of Columbia. Yeah. Anyways, like, I was getting into that somewhat, you know. I'm sorry, I'm having brain farts on like the details about what it was that I was saying. But when I started talking about that, she started saying something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was like she knew exactly what I was talking about. And she knew details about shit that I didn't even fucking know. Right? And like, she was, and yeah, you could tell that she knew a hell of a lot more about everything going on in the world than she ever let on. She would always act like she was completely like a zombie or something, that she had no fucking idea. But sometimes I'd see something come through her that's like, that is either she is totally awake or something that is totally awake just came through and took over her body and spoke to me for a minute there, you know. Like, are the NPCs real? Really NPCs? Or are they actors pretending to be NPCs for some sort of reason, right? And are the demons, as we call them, really demons? Or are they, God damn it, what's the word? I remember James True mentioned this. Hayoka is not the right word, man, okay? No, I think I'm probably more like a Hayoka somewhat. Kind of. Not exactly. But I don't know. Some sort of empath or something is what I am. I don't know. But well, oh yeah, that's right. The video this dude James True did, he's called it the Sacred Clown, right? Like, maybe that's what they're doing. Like, I noticed something about certain, like, demons or demon-possessed type people when were fucking with me and shit. What I noticed, I had this sort of clarity about it, that a lot of what I was seeing was sort of a reflection. It was like they were reflecting the darkness within myself back at me, like a mirror, you know? Whether I had expressed it or not, you know? I was angry with them. I was angry with myself. With parts of myself that I, you know, the what is it, the shadow or whatever, you know? Just like they were an outward expression of the dark shadow. Somewhat, you know. The worst aspects of myself reflected in my face. Kind of, yeah. So maybe even the torment that we receive from these things is somehow, in some sort of twisted way, meant for our own benefit, I suppose. But I certainly don't see why, or how exactly. It certainly doesn't feel so beneficial or wonderful to me. Oh, hell no. All this fuckery and shit. Sick of it. I wanna go home. Take off this uniform and leave the show. I'm waiting in this cell because I have to know. Have I been guilty all this time? Right? My terrible, tempting to be quiet impression of Pink Floyd there. The Wall, man, that shit is epic. I've watched that thing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I've watched it a few times when I was sober, even. Tell you what. Most of the time when I watched that back in the day, I was like fucking tripping balls, man. Oh, yeah. Because, like, to get it, you know. I don't know like how it's I think it's fucking required by law that if you watch The Wall you have to fucking be tripping balls or something, man. And you have to watch it over and over and over because there's all kinds of shit in there that like maybe you haven't quite got yet, you know. Oh, that is a fucking epic masterpiece, that thing is. Anyways. So yeah. Shit's weird. I'll be back. Ow. How does it? So yeah, shit's weird all over. I'm just saying, man, if this trip is gonna keep going on, man, I mean, I mean, okay, sometimes I get like weird things with midgets and clowns, okay? But, you know, here's the thing about it, though. It sounds batshit, but you know, what makes it real is the fact that other people can also see it, you know? Or the fact that, like, if I was quick enough, I could take a picture of it and, like, show you, yeah, I'm not fucking bullshitting you, shit's real, you know? I mean, otherwise I would just assume, you know, okay, I'm fucking tripping, beautiful minds here or something, but no. When other people see it, too, it's like different thing altogether, you know? When you can fucking actually get photographs and record. It's a pain in the, I don't know. The thing is, like, a lot of this stuff will happen so, like, I'll be driving down the street, see some shit on the sidewalk. My phone's in my fucking pocket, or it's off, sitting on the seat beside me. I'm driving past, I look over, I see some shit. You know, it's, you know, see some, it's like a few seconds go by, you know? I'm gonna fucking start following some fucking dude. Oh, I saw a guy in a clown mask. Don't believe me? What I gotta do? Fucking flip a fucking Yui in the car or something and turn around and chase the guy down? Fucking while I'm trying to fucking, you know, while I'm trying to unlock the goddamn phone with one hand or something. The giant fucking thing, damn near tablet-sized phone with one hand while I'm fucking trying to flip a Yui with my car, like, into traffic and shit. And, you know, it's... I'm telling you, weird shit do occur. I should get like some serious cameras is what I need to do. I should start getting some like fucking body cam, spy cam shit or something that I could just push a button really quickly on. That's what I should be fucking doing. Or get like a fucking dash cam on my car, or get like some fucking sunglasses cam or something. It's just like when you start getting into that shit, like, it's, you know, it's obviously shit's gonna ramp up on my ass. But they do it in such a way that it, you know, plausible deniability, you know. But even if you can get footage, it doesn't fucking matter. You can have all the footage in the world. But who gives a fuck if nobody sees it, or if the only people that's, you know, there's nothing you can do to expose these fuckers, man. At this point, they could rip their skin suits off or whatever, come out with horns and pitchforks or something, and eat babies on live TV, and the majority of people would be like, everything is fine, you know? It doesn't matter, like, there could be dragons flying around in the sky, breathing fire, setting cities on fire, and like, there would only be like a few of us that noticed them. The rest of the people would be like, there's no such thing as dragons, you're crazy. You know, even though we could like take pictures, videos, post them all over the internet, people would be like, that's fake. Be like, dude, look out your window. CGI. They CGI'd the sky, man. I'm telling you. You know. Ugh. I don't know. It's not a hell of a lot to do to like wake people the fuck up. And who knows, man? Maybe it's a dream. I've considered many things. I've considered maybe it's a simulation. I think the possibilities that I see as being possible for the Mandela effect and the other weird shit, there's several possibilities that I see as being potential, likely, you know. Now, I still think the simulation thing, you know, holds a lot of water. But only because, you know, I lack any other way of logically understanding, comprehending the mechanics of it all, right? Because I know a bit about computers and about game design and a little about computer programming and graphic and so on and so forth. I know a little bit about that, you know. A little bit more than your average Joe or whatever, you know. I know about some technology that already exists that could run, you know, and I know various technologies that if they were combined could have probably already run a very realistic simulation that would be basically indistinguishable from reality. And the technology already exists to where we could be in a simulation that we wouldn't know we wouldn't know necessarily that it was a simulation, and we could experience perhaps 100 or if not hundreds of years of time pass and wake up and it's only an hour or two has gone by in our real life, you know. So yeah, because that technology either already exists or is already in the process of being developed in this time period, in this, you know, known of in this place. Take Euclidean graphics, for instance. You know, gone are the days needing super powerful graphics cards to run, you know, massive 3D environments. I mean, there are games now that consist of numerous planets with entire worlds of, you know, like entire populated worlds as game maps. But not only that, but you can go from that entirely populated world game map, which has tons of shit to explore, and you could hop on a fucking rocket ship or whatever and go to another fucking planet, which also has another entirely populated game map. And, you know, that shit already exists. And the graphics technology that exists, you know, the sort of shit that could be done with AI especially, I mean, and with that combined with the sort of the graphics tech and the fucking ability to like distort the perception of time and things like that within a virtual environment, the tech already exists basically to be able to create something like a virtual environment. So yes, that's a possibility. The only other fucking possibilities I can think of, now I don't think multiverse explains it, nor does time travel. So I gotta think it's gotta be either we're in some kind of either we're in physical bodies and we're in a simulation, or we are conscious AI within a simulation, or we are dead and the afterlife is some sort of a simulation, which must mean that we were in a simulation to begin with, or fucking all the mythological fantasy magic fucking shit is real, and there's like magic going on. There's like fucking wizards doing wizard shit, and their fucking wizardry and the magic and the fucking gods and goddesses and the magic and the this and the that is fucking with our heads and fucking with the world. And I don't magic and fairies and oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, wizards and druids and sorcerers, oh my, whatever the fuck, right? Something fucking weird is going on. It's kind of hard to explain with fucking any sort of normal, rational fucking means. Initially, I would say, okay, hallucination and misremembering and blah, 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 and all the other shit that they fucking say is like, that would be what they would say. But yeah, too much corroborating evidence, though. And too much potential to like present actual fucking physical evidence and corroborating witnesses in order to just dismiss it as misremembering or hallucination. Shit is real, it's fucking real, and it's, I ain't gonna fucking say, oh, it's not real, because that makes me sound better if I say it's not real. It's like quick, let's go to Shell Beach. I'll show you. Oh shit, it's just a brick wall with a poster on it. Look, we're in space. I'm telling you, man. Getting shit is fucky. Shit is seriously fucky. I remember when I lost my mind. Something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo. So much space. Anyways, so what? Anybody else have similar kind of weird fucking shit that they experience? And then I haven't even mentioned like this is like tip of the iceberg shit, dude. But the fucking synchronicities, man. A lot of people talk about the synchronicities. I figured that has been fucking done to death. It's been covered, kind of. I mean, actually, a lot of, what you find, you go to these videos where like people are talking about the really crazy shit, like I'm talking about other people's videos, man. They'll have like, they got 500, some people that talk about shit that's like even coming in even close to the kind of shit that I talk about. Like they'll have like fucking 500 subscribers or fucking 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 subscribers or some shit, right? I don't know, I'd probably do better if I like put my face out there and put some effort into fucking making a video and shit, I guess. But, I'll tell you what, if there is goddamn magic or whatever in this fucking place, do you really want to give them a pitcher to spill chicken blood on? They're gonna take your picture, print it the fuck out, put it in a jar with some cemetery dirt, whatever the fuck, and hang out under a full moon or some shit, chant over it a little bit, show up and scatter some fucking goddamn powdered snake ash on your fucking doorstep and shit, so on and so forth. Okay, so I may have studied a little bit about the hoodoo. once upon a time. I ain't into that shit. But, you know, it was interesting once upon a time to me. That sort of stuff. A fucking rotten egg or a goddamn pitcher and some cemetery dirt and a goddamn, you know. I know. Not good. You'll be poking some fucking voodoo doll and shit. Like, I made a voodoo doll of him. But goddamn it. Stalking their ass around more than they already fucking do. I don't know. It is what it is. Well, I know, no, like when I was younger with, you know, more psychic abilities, and there was a time when I had like demons running all through me, basically, you know. So that's kind of where I get probably some of the shit from. Is like when I was younger, I was a bit demonized, a lot more, you know. And you know, I could see a lot more things when I was younger. I was shown a lot of things because you know, when I was kind of more like kind of new agey kind of thing, kind of experimenting with psychic exercises and witchy shit and all that kind of stuff. Mostly the psychic stuff because that, like, I didn't need the fucking incantations and all the other shit or whatever. I just, it was all like, all I needed was my mind and I could do shit, you know. But, you know, cloud busting and, you know, fucking men who stare at goats kind of shit and beyond, you know. Well, I don't know about actually the, you know, dream walker kind of shit, like straight up shaman once upon a time, you know, kind of. Probably, I mean, they would probably say, the people who are into that kind of shit would probably, how they would describe my situation in some ways is that I got the call. The thing is, I got the call to numerous sort of spiritual practices I did. I was like, well, it's kind of like this on a spiritual level, the same as it was in like, well, okay, like, let's say, for instance, like when I was a kid, up until the time I was in my 20s, right, I used to get fucking phone calls from Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, SWAT, you know, I would get emails and fucking emails and ads showing up in the side of my fucking MySpace, my Facebook feeds and shit, trying to recruit me, you know, SWAT, Special Forces, fucking NSA. I mean, yeah, dude, shit you not, okay? Some of the recruitment shit was kind of spooky looking, you know, honestly. Oh yeah, fucking spooky. Yep. Dude, I have seen shit that, like, I haven't even talked about yet. Like, the stuff that I talk about here so far. But you gotta realize, I've talked about some crazy sounding shit. I know that, man. But, like, what you don't get is, like, I ain't even fucking hardly the tip of the iceberg, dude. I've fucking seen shit that, like, I'm kind of afraid to even mention. You know? Like the pale soldiers. Just leave it at that. Perhaps I should use the word albino. Would be better than pale, I don't know. But just not gonna say any more about that. I know nothing. I don't know what the fuck those are. I don't know who the, like, spooky, dude. I'm telling you, fucking spooky. I've seen some spooky fucking shit, dude. Damn. Hopefully that wasn't too much to say, you know, just, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then good for you, dude. You know, be grateful for that. I'm just grateful they haven't fucking, like, harmed me or just fucking with my head, you know? It's like, goddamn. Nah, dude, I've seen some fucking weird fucking shit, man. Weird fucking shit. Like, goddamn. I've been in some seriously fucking spooky situations, dude. I've seen some fucking shit that would make your goddamn skin crawl, dude. Most people, like, if they had seen fucking even a tiny percentage of the shit that I'd seen, man, they'd be like, you know, sitting in a corner, fucking drooling, going, you know, if they were even capable of giggling or rocking back and forth while they drool, like, they wouldn't be fucking able to, like, form sentences and shit, you know? They'd be fucking sitting in a corner, fucking wearing a diaper, fucking drooling. Yeah, I seen some shit, man. Holy motherfucking shit. Seriously. I have seen some shit. Tell you what. Yep. Mm-hmm. Dale Gribble don't know the half of it, man. I'm telling you. Oh, man. I don't know. It's stupid to make fucking, you know, talk about this kind of shit at all. Any of this shit, man. It's just, you know, it seems pointless, you know, because that's one thing you notice is, like, there's almost nobody, like, that you can find out there. I know there are people out there. I know they are. I know there's a lot of them, too. You know, maybe it's a small percentage, but still a fairly large number, I think, you know. But they're out there, but, like, tricky to find, not super easy to talk to, and we're all big time distrusting motherfuckers because we're like, you know, everyone thinks everybody's gonna out to get them, and everybody's a perp, you know, can't trust anybody because we've been fucked over so many fucking times and have some, you know, so fucking, like, spooked by all the shit we've had to deal with, you know. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes, you know, I mean, none of us are perfect. None of us are impervious to being fucked with by these things, or even having these, you know, something dark jump into us or fucking affect our thoughts or our emotions, you know, and make us freak the fuck out, you know. Sad state of affairs, but I mean, people have to get together. We have to, like, try to, you know, be a team or something, or try to, I don't know. It sucks that we have to we're just gonna let ourselves be isolated and alone because I think everybody's can't trust anybody, you know. But I get it, man, because I fucking dealt with the same sort of shit, man. I know. You meet somebody that you think is, like, totally cool. It's like, oh, this one of us, scuba gobba, one of us, right? You think it's... And then they get, like, fucked up or something, because, you know, as I do at times, time to time. as I have been known to, and then, or whatever, and, fucking, I don't know, there's a lot of ways we can misinterpret each other's meaning, or get fucking spooked and paranoid because we're all like overcautious or something, which I guess for good reason. I mean, it's fucking scary, dude. It is. It's fucking scary. The shit we deal with. Anybody else who deals with the sort of similar shit to what I deal with, it's goddamn fucking terrifying. You know, it is. I mean, sometimes I just, it's like I grow the fucking, his balls grew 10 times the size that day, right? Right? No longer was he the Grinch, for his his balls grew to the size. Alright, it's just, sometimes it's like, I just walk into the fucking flames and I'm like, fuck you, flames, Walk into a giant room surrounded by wolves and I'm like, I will tread upon snakes and scorpions, bitch, Sometimes. And then other times it's like, I want to hide in a corner and cry. Wee. Wow. I don't think this fucking shit is real, but it's like, pretty goddamn persistent fucking illusion. It has a way of convincing you that it's real, because knock on wood that isn't there, feels pretty goddamn real. I don't know, I could probably go on and on, but I think I've been fucking ranting for like damn near an hour and a half or something. I ought to shut the hell up now and, alright then. Y'all have a good, well, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Truman out.